Welcome into the Cyclone Fanatic halftime show presented by Fareway and the Ames Eye Clinic. Jared Stansbury, Rob Gray, going to break down the first half of Iowa State and Kansas down at Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. Rob, up and down first half, primarily down, I would say. I think there were some things that Iowa State did that you can kind of feel a little bit okay about, but man, just not able to get anything to go from three is really killing them right now. Two of
Yeah, other than
14 in the
Jalen.
first half.
Yeah, other than Jalen Coleman Lands hitting what I think three. Man, he's so good. He's deadly when it's just a spot up. Guys set him up. I don't like him taking him off the dribbles. I think his percentage goes way down. They got to get. I was about to tweet at one point, if they get Javen Johnson going at some point in this game, I think they've got a chance to compete down to the end. But he looks all kinds of out of sorts tonight. And look, Kansas is one thing that Kansas does, even in down years, is they defend and or the Jayhawks defend, and they're doing a nice job and not making it easy for the Cyclones to get very many good, clean looks. And the Cyclones are not, seeming to want to go that extra mile, extra pass or whatever to see if they can pierce that defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that stuck out to me, especially early in the game. Just every shot that they got was heavily contested. And one thing I give Kansas a lot of credit for is they're great in transition defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's really difficult to, be able to get out and run on them. And, I think that there's been some times where they've really put up some kind of ill-advised shots, some that have just been kind of questionable. But
Yeah.
the number that I was really looking at coming into this game was rebounding, with how atrocious Iowa State was rebounding the ball. Uh, on Tuesday against TCU, and I mean they've been fine in that area. It's 6 offensive rebounds for Kansas, which is, I'll note, was the same number that TCU had in the first half on Tuesday. So who knows how the second half could go?
Yeah.
But only 6 second chance points, and Justin notes it here. Too many one and done shots, no rebounding. In another last. I mean, I don't think anybody's probably going to argue with that one, but. I mean, Iowa State also is not a team that really does crash the boards overly hard, and you don't have any guys who I think are overly adept positional players at getting position underneath the rim to be able to rebound in that way. So, that's not surprising to me by any means, but I mean, they just cannot get open looks, man. They're not going to win unless they can figure out a way to get something open, I guess, or they're not gonna even be close. Is probably the better way to put it.
Yeah, in order to compete. I mean, I will say the defensive rebounding is the best I've seen in recent games, I think. And that's largely because of the guards. They've really been in there getting their hands on the ball, active hands. We saw George Condit kind of keep one alive on the offensive end, and we finally saw him to get another block, which hopefully that leads to something. I think it was big when Bolton was able to draw that foul on McCormick. If he can sort of keep him on the fringe or in foul trouble, I think they've got a chance if they can get some open looks. And again, Javen Johnson is critical there. And Jaden Walker breaking down the defense. We're seeing him grow, and he's just got to finish, on those shots. And I think there's a chance they get back into this game. It's just always such a uphill climb, and that's why they're 0-9, and that's why even when they play well, we're talking about, they just fell short. Hopefully that's not the case tonight, but down 11 at half, and definitely a big uphill climb.
And I think this is a game too where having Jaden Walker is big, because I feel like Rozier is going to give you your best chance at, if you're going to try and run people off screens and stuff like that. I'd rather see Rozier running off of those than I mean, I know Jalen Coleman Lanes has made a couple tonight, but I'd rather see Rozier in those types of situations. And Doug notes that switching every screen is clearly not working, and I would agree with that, because anytime you end up in a position where George Condit has to guard Marcus Garrett, you're probably going to be in for a rough experience. And I'll give Kansas some credit though too. They've made some tough shots.
Yeah.
Not much of their they've had to make some difficult threes. I mean, I think there was maybe one or two that Christian Braun made that were I mean, he was just basically, there was nobody there. But other than that, like, they've all been contested and they've just made shots. And I don't know, not exactly what I would think is you know, not a pretty basketball game by any means. I don't know that anybody expected it to be, but I guess it is what it is.
No, they got to find a way to get Kansas to be a little bit uncomfortable, even though, as you said, they've been able to contest a number of those shots. What is it? One turnover, two turnovers in the first half. You gotta get them. I don't know what you do with what you've got, but they've got to find a way to get them a little bit uncomfortable, and then maybe they can chip away a little bit.
For sure. What is Jason asks? What is their offensive strategy? Do they run an offense? I mean, I think they do run an offense. I don't know that it's a very effective. I mean, obviously it's not a very effective one, but I think that it's just a lot of just trying to space people out. They run that one play, and they've ran it for a long time, where you run the guy off the two baseline screens. There's just not much variety there, you know, and I can understand that being a frustration. I mean, I've been frustrated with that for a long time. They're not going to set up and run the Princeton all of a sudden, you know, or
Yeah.
something like that. But needs some more creativity, I think, in that area. Tony asked thoughts on Iowa State taking a three with 20 seconds left in the half instead of holding the ball for virtually the last shot. Again, and this is not anything new. Situationally, this team has not been very good in understanding those types of scenarios, which is what it is. I don't know. Probably not going to change at this point. I know that it's frustrating. It's one of those things that makes you scratch your head, but I think it is what it is in February, mid-February at this point. Rob, do you got any final thoughts on the game here before the second half starts?
No, really, I'm with you, except, offense has generally not been the problem for the Cyclones, other than not getting at the free throw line. They shoot it fairly well. It's defense, obviously, that's been, and rebounding. If they can shore up those areas in this game, they've got a chance, because I think they'll hit some shots. But I agree that, that it doesn't look like they're running much, but I think they've really got to intensify the defensive effort and see what happens.
Yep, you good?
I'm good.
I lost you for a minute. All right,
Okay.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to Fairway and Ames Eye Clinic Ames Eye Care for being the presenting sponsors of our halftime show, and enjoy the second half. Hopefully the Cyclones can knock down a few shots and work their way back into this thing.